Welcome back to PicklePatter. You know where we like to get into all the fun stuff happening in the world of pickleball.
The deep dives.
Exactly. Love a good deep dive.
Today we're serving up something really inspiring and exciting.
Ooh.
We are taking a deep dive into the rise of wheelchair pickleball.
Yeah, this is something that is,
It's pretty incredible.
really changing the game.
Absolutely. And to guide us through this journey, we've got an amazing expert by my side, someone who not only understands sports, but also the power of inclusivity.
Well, thank you so much. I am excited to be here
I am excited to have you.
and share some really cool stories about wheelchair pickleball.
All right, so let's just set the scene. Pickleball is exploding in popularity.
Yes.
But wheelchair pickleball is adding this whole other dimension.
It's really remarkable.
So how does wheelchair pickleball actually work? Are the rules completely different?
Well, the core rules are the same, but there are a few modifications to make the game accessible for wheelchair players.
So for example, one of the most notable differences is the two-bounce rule.
Yeah.
Wheelchair players are allowed to let the ball bounce twice before returning it.
Gotcha.
Because of the differences in mobility and reach compared to standing players.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Levels the playing field without really changing the game.
Exactly. And it adds a really interesting layer of strategy, too.
Okay, how so?
Well, because players have to anticipate those bounces and adjust their positioning accordingly.
I bet that leads to some really intense rallies.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it.
Another modification is during a volley,
Okay.
the front wheels of the wheelchair are allowed to be in the non-volley zone.
Okay.
So this makes sure that wheelchair players can fully engage in those fast-paced exchanges.
So you're adapting the rules to accommodate different abilities,
Right.
but not taking away from that excitement and competitive
Exactly.
spirit of the game.
You got it.
Now, it's not just wheelchair pickleball events.
Right.
We're also seeing more and more hybrid matches,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Where wheelchair and stand-up players are competing together.
That is awesome.
It's pretty amazing to watch.
Talk about breaking down barriers.
Yeah.
It really embodies that true spirit of inclusivity.
Uh-huh.
And speaking of inspiring stories, there are some incredible athletes
Yes.
who are driving this growth of wheelchair pickleball.
Absolutely.
Tell me about Michael Lipp.
So Michael's story really shows how resilient people can be
Okay.
and how sports can be transformative. He's 70 years old.
Wow.
And he's a top-ranked wheelchair pickleball player.
That's incredible.
He is defying expectations and inspiring everyone he meets. And what's amazing is that he didn't start playing pickleball until after he retired.
Wow, so it's never too late.
Never too late to discover new passions.
70-year-old pickleball champion, that's got to be unheard of.
Yeah.
But he's faced challenges earlier in life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Michael contracted polio as a child, and it impacted his mobility
Okay.
and required him to use crutches or braces for a lot of his life.
Oh, wow.
But he always had a passion for sports.
Okay.
Yeah. He played Little League baseball,
Wow.
table tennis, always found ways to be active and competitive.
That athlete spirit, just shines through.
Yeah.
So when he retired, was he looking for something new?
Yeah, he was looking for new ways to challenge himself,
Okay.
both physically and mentally. And that's when he discovered wheelchair pickleball, and he just took off with it.
It sounds like he found his sport.
He did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And now he's an advocate for wheelchair pickleball, right?
Yeah, he is. He loves to talk about how much joy pickleball brings him,
Yeah.
the community, a new sense of purpose.
It's so powerful,
He is a true inspiration.
showing that age is just a number.
You got it.
Pickleball is for everyone.
Yes.
And Michael's not the only one.
No.
There are so many other incredible athletes.
Yeah.
Like Taylor Nichols.
Taylor's story is incredible.
Tell me about him.
So he was a former motocross athlete
Okay.
until he sustained a spinal cord injury during a race. But just like Michael, Taylor did not let this define him.
So how did pickleball come into his life?
Well, he tried a lot of different adaptive sports,
Yeah.
always pushing his boundaries and exploring what was possible.
Yeah.
He even played on the Dallas Cowboys wheelchair football team.
What? That's incredible.
But it was pickleball that he really loved.
Wow. What was it about pickleball?
It was the perfect combination of competition,
Yeah.
social interaction, and accessibility.
Wow.
And he knew he could use his platform to advocate for greater inclusivity.
Talk about a champion for change.
Yes.
That is incredible.
He is currently the adaptive pickleball coordinator with Chicken and Pickle.
Wow.
And he's working to organize para-pickleball events.
Nice.
And make the sport more accessible.
That's fantastic.
And he's a fierce competitor.
Okay.
He played in a hybrid match with pro player Anna Lee Waters at the Vizzy Atlanta Open.
No way.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Proof that pickleball can bring people together
Yeah.
from all walks of life.
It sounds like this is just the beginning
It does.
for wheelchair pickleball.
It feels like there's a lot of momentum.
Yeah, and there's even talk of it becoming a Paralympic sport.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be a game changer.
Yeah.
What are the chances of that actually happening?
I think it's very possible.
Really?
Yeah, the sport's popularity is growing all over the world.
Yeah.
And more people are recognizing the athleticism and skill in wheelchair pickleball.
So what has to happen to get it to the Paralympics?
Well, there are a couple of factors.
Okay.
We need to see greater international participation.
Okay.
The U.S. is definitely leading the charge, but we need more countries to develop wheelchair pickleball programs
Okay.
so that we can have that global representation.
All right, what else?
We need to have a unified governing body for the sport.
Okay.
Right now, there are a few organizations
Oh, yeah.
vying for control.
Like,
USA Pickleball,
okay.
the Professional Pickleball Association,
Gotcha.
and Major League Pickleball.
Yeah, so that could cause some problems.
Yeah, it's not a unified front.
Right.
They need to see one clear organizational structure and one vision for the future of the sport.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's crucial.
So it sounds like there are some hurdles,
Yes,
but also a lot of excitement.
definitely.
And we're seeing facilities being adapted to accommodate wheelchair pickleball players, too.
We are. Demuth Park in Palm Springs is being renovated to include a stadium court
Nice.
with expanded fencing that's specifically designed for wheelchair athletes.
That's incredible.
It's so great.
It's encouraging to see these adaptations being made,
Absolutely.
creating more inclusive spaces.
It sends the message that everyone is welcome,
Love that.
no matter their physical abilities.
It reminds me of a quote from Mary Barcelo. She's a pickleball enthusiast
Okay.
and advocate for adaptive sports.
Okay.
And she said, quote, "I think pickleball will have a very good chance of getting into the Paralympic Games soon. We need a few more countries with programs. And the USA must settle on one organization to govern the sport in the international community."
Yeah, we can't have them battling over our sport.
It sounds like she's calling for some unity,
Yes.
a shared vision to really propel wheelchair pickleball
Yes.
to that next level.
Yes.
Well, it has been so inspiring talking about this.
It is amazing.
And it's clear that wheelchair pickleball is transforming lives,
It is.
challenging perceptions about what's possible in sports.
Yeah, it's so remarkable.
So where do we go from here? What does the future hold?
Ooh, that's a great question. And I think that's a perfect segue into the next part of our deep dive.
You got it. We'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere.
All right, so as we dive deeper into this exciting world of wheelchair pickleball, let's look ahead.
Yeah, where is this going? What can we expect to see?
Well, one thing we can expect to see is that the number of people playing is just going to keep growing
Okay.
at all levels, recreational and competitive.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's catching pickleball fever.
They are. What kind of impact is this going to have on the sport?
I think we're going to see a lot more wheelchair pickleball events and tournaments.
Okay.
And hopefully more media coverage, more sponsors, and more support for adaptive athletes.
So more participation leads to more support, which leads to even more players.
Exactly.
And maybe even pickleball becoming a Paralympic sport.
That would be amazing.
That would be huge.
That would be a game changer for sure.
What would that do for the sport?
Oh, it would bring so much more recognition and legitimacy.
Okay.
Attract even more athletes, inspire more people with disabilities to get involved.
And probably even more funding and resources.
Absolutely.
So it would just elevate the entire sport.
To a whole other level.
That's amazing. What else?
I think we're going to see even more innovation in equipment and technology.
Like what?
Well, we're already seeing improvements in sports wheelchair designs that are made just for pickleball,
Okay.
making them lighter, more maneuverable.
And more stable.
Yes, exactly.
It's amazing how technology can really help level the playing field.
It is.
And I bet we'll see advancements in training techniques, too.
Absolutely. Coaches and trainers are going to need to really understand wheelchair pickleball.
So we'll see more resources and training materials available.
Yeah, both online and in person.
It sounds like wheelchair pickleball has a very bright future.
It does.
It's really inspiring to see how it's pushing the boundaries
Yeah.
of what's possible in sports.
And You know, it's not just about pickleball.
What do you mean?
This movement is about so much more than that.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's about changing the way we all think about disability, about sports, about human potential.
Yeah.
It's about creating a world where everyone can experience the joy of sports.
Wheelchair pickleball is showing us what's possible
Yes.
when we embrace inclusivity.
It's an inspiration.
So I think it's time to bring our listeners into this conversation.
Absolutely.
What do you all think about the growth of wheelchair pickleball?
Yes. What are your hopes for the future of the sport?
And what can you do, even small things, to make sports more inclusive in your own community?
Yeah. Share your thoughts with us on social media.
We've covered a lot today, and now as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question.
One last thing to ponder.
So stay tuned. We're about to get into that. Okay, so we're back and ready to finish up our deep dive.
You know, we've talked about so much about wheelchair pickleball.
It's been an awesome journey.
Inspiring stories of these athletes really pushing the limits.
Absolutely. And we've also discussed, this possibility of pickleball becoming a Paralympic sport.
Right. How incredible would that be?
Game changer.
And all the innovations that are happening in the sport.
Yeah. It's exciting to see where it's headed.
Definitely.
So as we wrap things up, we wanted to leave you with a question.
Almost like a little challenge.
Oh, a challenge. I like it. Lay it on me.
Think about this. We've been talking about inclusivity in wheelchair pickleball.
Yeah.
But how can we apply this to other parts of our lives?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It really goes beyond the pickleball court, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes you think about how we treat each other in our communities, in our workplaces, everywhere.
Are we creating those spaces where everyone feels welcome, feels like they belong?
And sometimes it's not about these big, grand gestures.
Right.
It's about the small, everyday things that we can do.
Being mindful of the words we use, calling out stereotypes when we hear them.
Supporting businesses that prioritize accessibility.
Or even just volunteering to help create more inclusive opportunities.
A smile, a kind word.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Exactly. Those little things, they make a big difference.
It's a journey, and we're all learning and growing together.
Absolutely. So here's our challenge to you listening right now.
Okay.
How can you be an advocate for inclusivity?
Yeah, not just in sports, but in life in general.
Think about it. What can you do to make a difference?
No matter how small.
It's been an awesome deep dive.
It really has. So many inspiring stories and discussions.
We hope it's inspired you.
To be a champion for inclusivity.
Both on and off the court.
On and off the court, for sure.
This is really just the beginning.
Keep the conversation going.
Yeah, share your thoughts with us on social media.
We would love to hear from you.
Use the hashtag PicklePatter Deep Dive.
Keep those paddles swinging, everyone.
And we'll see you on the court.